The Forbidden City, located in the heart of Beijing, is a sprawling palace complex that served as the imperial residence for the emperors of the Ming and Qing dynasties from 1420 to 1912. Spanning over 180 acres, it is the world's largest palace complex, enclosed by massive walls and a moat. The Forbidden City features nearly 1,000 intricately designed buildings adorned with iconic red walls and golden roofs, symbolizing imperial power. Once strictly off-limits to commoners, it now stands as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a treasure trove of Chinese history, art and culture. Despite its grandeur, architectural sophistication and meticulous attention to detail, one puzzling fact often sparks curiosity. The Forbidden City did not have a single toilet for the emperors, their families, officials, or the thousands of servants who lived and worked there. This omission can be better understood by delving into the historical, cultural and practical contexts of the time. The Forbidden City was designed as a symbol of imperial power, harmony and order, embodying principles derived from Chinese cosmology and Confucianism. Its architects focused on creating a structure that reflected the emperor's divine role as the Son of Heaven. The layout emphasized symmetry, hierarchy and aesthetics, prioritizing grandeur over practical conveniences such as restrooms. Including toilets within the palace might have been considered mundane or beneath the dignity of such an exalted space. Toilets were not seen as essential to the symbolism of power and order, allowing the focus to remain on the palace's magnificence and sanctity. In ancient times, the lives of monarchs and aristocrats were bound by strict rules and elaborate rituals. Every aspect of their daily lives, eating, living and working, was governed by detailed protocols. This ceremonial lifestyle conflicted with the private and utilitarian nature of toilets. For the imperial court, a toilet was not merely a sanitary facility, it symbolized impurity and uncleanliness, rendering it incompatible with their highly regulated way of life. Since the Forbidden City was regarded as a sacred space where the emperor conducted state affairs, the presence of toilets was seen as diminishing the palace's sanctity and dignity. Additionally, the absence of toilets can be attributed to the limited understanding of hygiene and disease in ancient times. Without modern medical knowledge or awareness of sanitation, people did not recognize the link between disease transmission and environmental cleanliness. Illness was often attributed to fate or malevolent spirits rather than poor hygiene, further diminishing the perceived necessity of toilets within the palace. Furthermore, the absence of toilets in the Forbidden City can also be attributed to the technological and resource limitations of the era. Advanced plumbing systems were not widely developed, and constructing a functional sewer system within the sprawling palace complex would have posed significant engineering challenges. This was especially true given the need to prevent unpleasant odors or contamination in such a sacred and meticulously maintained environment. The palace's location in the heart of Beijing added another layer of complexity. Groundwater contamination was a potential concern, and installing fixed toilets could have introduced health risks or disrupted the palace's carefully regulated atmosphere. Finally, safety concerns played a crucial role in the absence of toilets in the Forbidden City. Toilets, typically isolated spaces, could serve as potential hiding spots for assassins. To mitigate such risks, the Forbidden City was deliberately designed to eliminate secluded areas where intruders could conceal themselves. By excluding fixed toilets, the palace reduced the likelihood of such security breaches, enhancing the emperor's safety. The Forbidden City was an immense palace complex that accommodated the emperor, empress, ministers, concubines, maids and eunuchs, all of whom lived and worked within its sprawling grounds. Despite its size and population, these design choices reflected a prioritization of symbolic and practical considerations unique to the era. Given the vast scale of the Forbidden City, many might wonder how its residents managed their physiological need to use the restroom. Some might assume that due to the palace's size, individuals could simply leave the premises to relieve themselves. However, many areas within the Forbidden City were located far from the exterior, and reaching the outside could take several hours, an impractical solution for urgent needs. Compounding the challenge, there were no public restrooms within the palace, and the formal, highly regulated environment of the Forbidden City left little room for addressing such needs informally, as might be possible in a more natural or rural setting. So how did the residents of this grand imperial complex tackle this issue? Surprisingly, despite the Forbidden City having over 8,000 rooms, none were equipped with dedicated toilets. Instead, many rooms featured a designated area known as the Jingfang, or clean room, where individuals could attend to their needs. These clean rooms were typically located in the corners of the rooms and concealed by heavy curtains to ensure privacy and avoid embarrassment. Inside the Jingfang was a special device called a gongtong, a type of chamber pot. The design of the gongtong resembled a modern toilet to some extent. Its lower part consisted of a wooden bucket to collect waste, while the upper part featured a seat for added comfort. For its time, it was a remarkably thoughtful and practical solution. One might wonder how the emperor and aristocracy preserved the palace's dignity while relying on clean rooms rather than traditional toilets. Wouldn't this have led to unpleasant odors? Wouldn't it have been better to install toilets? In reality, the imperial household took numerous measures to prevent foul smells and maintain the palace's sanctity. To keep the environment fresh, waste in the chamber pots was not allowed to sit for long. Palace maids or eunuchs would promptly remove the waste daily and dispose of it outside the palace. From there, it was transported to the surrounding fields, where it was repurposed as natural fertilizer, a practice that was both efficient and sustainable. Ordinary palace maids and eunuchs typically added wood ash or sand to the chamber pots they used to help neutralize odors. In contrast, the emperor and high-ranking concubines paid far more attention to detail. Their chamber pots were often crafted from fine wood and subtly scented. After each use, they instructed palace maids and eunuchs to sprinkle pine resin powder or other fragrant spices into the pots to maintain a fresh aroma. Used chamber pots were thoroughly cleaned and disinfected to ensure they could be reused. To control odors, the pots were sealed with lids and often infused with fragrant spices to neutralize unpleasant smells. This meticulous practice was essential to maintaining the palace's sanctity and dignity. The emperor and high-ranking concubines elevated this experience to another level. Their chamber pots, crafted with exceptional care and artistry, not only served a sanitary purpose, but also embodied a blend of practicality and elegance. These small portable pots could easily be carried by palace maids or eunuchs, allowing for convenient use at any time, even while traveling. In certain situations, these chamber pots offered a level of convenience that arguably surpassed modern toilets. The ancients took significant measures to minimize odors and ensure that even sanitary practices reflected the dignity of the imperial palace. Though primitive by today's standards, the chamber pots served as a functional and elegant solution, aligning with the grandeur and order of the Forbidden City. Furthermore, the design of the chamber pot reflected the strict social hierarchy of the time. For individuals of higher rank, these pots were often more elaborate and luxurious. For instance, Empress Dowager Cixi, renowned for her love of opulence, owned a chamber pot crafted from high-quality sandalwood. Its design was exceptionally intricate, resembling a gecko. The body formed the seat, the forelegs served as the base, and the eyes were inlaid with two gleaming rubies. Even something as mundane as a toilet accessory became a symbol of indulgence, reflecting the extravagance of ancient rulers. However, after the fall of the Qing dynasty, these ornate toilet items were largely regarded as impractical and were often discarded. From a cultural heritage perspective, this loss is unfortunate, as these artifacts represented a unique aspect of history. Yet their disappearance also symbolized the decline of the excesses of Chinese feudal society. Modern flush toilets, by contrast, are far more efficient than the intricate systems of the past. While ancient societies invested significant effort in minimizing odors and maintaining cleanliness, their chamber pots fell short of addressing sanitation challenges as effectively as today's technology. With the simple press of a button, modern systems ensure complete waste disposal, a stark contrast to the labor-intensive and complex practices of earlier times. This evolution highlights the remarkable progress of science and civilization. The convenience we now take for granted far surpasses anything available to even the most privileged rulers of the past. It stands as a testament to humanity's relentless pursuit of innovation and improvement.